people lack all self-awareness, as if anyone would care. Why should we care? Is there some reason to care? And by the way, you are discrediting by your stupidity and clear incompetence anything you're promoting. You should keep that in mind. But big picture, if you wanted to make people less confident in regional banks and the banking system more broadly, if you wanted to maybe induce a run on the banks, this might be how you talk. Oh, we're all of a certain racial group. Huh? What does it have to do with whether the banks have enough cash in reserve to cover their balance sheets? So what we do know is that the Democratic Party, the Biden administration, sees this crisis as a means of expanding their control. And we know this because in a recent Zoom call with the Fed, Treasury Department, and other financial regulators with members of Congress, Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona asked whether there was a program in place to censor social media posts that could lead to a national run on banks. Now, that's according to Congressman Thomas Massie. Michael Schellenberger has a great piece on this today. Massie was on the call. So think about this for a second. You've got a deposit at a regional bank that's holding tons, way more than you know, of long-term treasuries that are worth a lot less than they were when the bank bought them. That means that bank is at risk. That means your money's at risk. But Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona doesn't want you to know about that. Why wouldn't they want you to know that? Kind of interesting. That kind of censorship could actually crush people. So we have to ask the obvious question, how close are we to some sort of disaster?
Still, many people say that the institutional investors are providing a quality product to relatively high-income individuals.
They figured out pretty early on, like, it's pretty hard to be profitable when you're focusing on people who are missing payments all the time and living in 70-year-old homes that need a lot of CapEx. So the Wall Street group has focused on newer homes and higher paying, higher income tenants who are more discretionary renters, not out of necessity, because that's been a better profit model for them.
Other experts point out that given the supply constraints, there aren't many other options for people on the market.
It's almost a captive market, particularly in terms of with single-family rentals. They've been very explicit about how people are shut out of the home buying market and are going to be perpetual renters.
Renting or buying your home is one of the most consequential financial decisions an individual will make.
Home ownership is the main way in this country that people build wealth. And while in some ways it may not look very different whether somebody's renting or owning a home, financially it's very significant both for that individual family and for communities whether or not they do own the home.
That said,
not everyone wants to be a homeowner. They want to be able to rent for a little while, potentially move within that neighborhood, or move to another state. Moving and flexibility has become a premium to most consumers, so renting is not considered less than buying. It's actually favored by a lot more consumers.
Some of this can be observed in this chart. It shows the so-called home ownership premium. The time periods depicted in blue show when renting would be a better deal. That includes most of 2021. In the periods marked red, owning was a better deal. That includes many of the years following the Great Recession. The changes in the home ownership premium are driven by home prices and mortgage rates.
Usually the cost to be an owner are a couple $100 a month higher, and especially if you start throwing in maintenance and other things, it's even higher than that.
Paul, breaking money news. Go ahead and hit that free like and that free subscribe button. We are bringing you the money news. And as you can see, we are here to comment on those videos. Silicon Valley Bank, the $32 trillion that the United States owe. Now you see why the dollar is dying. I've been saying this over the years. The United States dollar is dying. And you saw what Tucker Carlson said, that the dollar is sliding, and you heard what Aaron from CNN had said as well about Silicon Valley Bank collapsing, and you have heard the pharmaceutical companies in the United States making millions, billions of dollars, and that's through Medicaid and Social Security. So $32 trillion is the amount of debt we owe in the United States. The United States dollar has declined, and there are only 3 ways for you to hedge yourself against the US dollar. Number one, you've got to invest. Number two, you got to save. Number three, you've got to start an online business. That is digital asset. This is the future. The average person with digital asset makes 3,000 US dollars per month. Hedge yourself against the $72 trillion worth of debt, and it's going to be growing. It's not going to be going down. The pharmaceutical companies are making a lot of money. I'm telling you, I had a client that called and her medical bill is 1,700 US dollars per month. That is what pharmaceutical companies charge. My mom cancer treatment was $950 per month, and the insurance didn't cover it. Sadly, my mom passed away because she could not afford $950 per month for medicine. So now we see what's killing the US dollar. It is the collapse of the banks, where the government breaks up banks. Silicon Valley Bank did not go under by its own. Big government shut Silicon Valley Bank down. That cost us trillions of dollars, 32 trillion and counting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the United States, 3 ways to hedge yourself. Get rid of the car payment. Car payment is $32,000. You cannot afford that anymore. Student loans. Go to school, associate degree, then get a degree at a public college. I did it 30 years ago in the United States. You can do it. Work a job while you go to school. Go for an associate, then go for a bachelor's. I came out with 0 30 years ago. Student loans are not worth it. Get a job while you go to school. That's what you got to do. My 9-year-old US-born twins will be getting a job while they go to school in the United States. It hasn't changed for me, and it hasn't changed then. And investing online. Think about Amazon, Shopee, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Those average pay, that's 3,000 US dollar per month. Airbnb, that's a big one. Rent a room out, rent your place out. Airbnb is wonderful. But the 3 debt to get rid of, which averages out 32,000, car payments gotta go. Student loan 38,000, that's gotta go. And number 3, credit cards for 15,000 average person, that's gotta go. I'm Tisha Powell. Please go ahead and hit that free like and that free subscribe button, and we'll talk more about real estate. You're going to need $250,000. That's the going rate for a townhome. Forget buying a single family home. Look at a townhome, 1,300 square feet, FHA 3%, that's $7,500. We'll talk more about money on this channel. I'm Tisha Powell. You're watching US Business News. We'll be back another time.